AVtv is a product of the AV journalism class produced for the students of Amador Valley High School. The views expressed on the show do not represent the views of AVHS teachers, admin, or PUSD personnel.
Good morning, Dons. Hope you're having a great day. Today is Thursday, March 7th, and I'm Amelia.
And I'm Becca. We are your AVtv hosts for the 27th show of the 2023-2024 school year. Along with our weekly AVtv broadcasts, make sure to follow us on Instagram at avhsinfo to get the latest news from around the campus.
Dons, have you ever used Grammarly or any other automated grammar correction software? These apps and programs we use on a daily basis are actually considered AI. This can be a huge issue because AI detectors will flag papers that have been using these softwares for assistance.
Doesn't this mean that students could get accused of cheating and using AI even if they didn't?
That's exactly what has happened in many instances, and this is a major problem now occurring. We have a feature story that came out in the Amadon on Monday all about this issue. Let's see what that story was all about.
In recent years, AI has been making its way into public spaces, including classrooms. Students often use artificial intelligence as a way of saving time on assignments. In response, teachers at Amador have been attempting to submit student work to AI checkers, such as on platforms like Turnitin.com. Other teachers have modified lesson plans to ensure that students write their entire assignment in class.
ChatGPT is sort of detrimental for the bread and butter type assignments that teachers give all the time, not the major once in a semester critical thinking type of essay, but the smaller assignments here and there and on a given Tuesday, the smaller homework assignments are really hard to distinguish, especially if a lot of students are responding in a very similar way.
To test the accuracy of AI checkers, human-written essays are run through detection software. One human-written essay showed a 52% chance of being written entirely by AI. The rising use and prevalence of AI software across the world has forced teachers to come up with new ways to tackle this technology. One thing is clear, detection software is not always safe. It's been Akanksha Balachandar, Ashi Jain, and Jika Bluewall with AVtv News.
Dons, this and next weekend, make sure to catch a show of the spring musical 9 to 5. Tickets are on sale now with performances on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
As we near the end of the academic year, many seniors are finding themselves with less and less motivation to close out strongly.
Did you know it's estimated that over 70% of the graduating class experience this phenomenon known as senioritis? Here's AVtv reporter Mateo Gable on the effects of senioritis.
Now that we only have a few months left of school, senioritis has been taking a toll on seniors' presence in class and their grades.
My grades have been slipping. Instead of doing my homework and studying, I've been hanging out with my friends and going out. So yeah, it hasn't been the greatest second semester.
It's affected my grades pretty badly, right? Like, I just feel like I haven't been as motivated as I've been in previous semesters or previous years. I just kind of show up to school just to be here.
There is a clear chain reaction with seniors not coming to class. That chain reaction leads straight to people's grades dropping drastically and being less motivated, which can unfortunately lead to colleges resigning their offers from students. That's why it's extremely important for students to finish this year strong.
So the way I think of what can help seniors is honestly like goals. So kind of setting new goals for yourself, right? Like if you're planning after high school with college, like you still want to be prepared for college, right? Your last semester of high school might seem kind of like just something that's standing in your way, but just after one summer, you're going to be starting at college.
With the right mindset, students will be able to cure their senioritis and do everything they need to do to graduate. This has been Mateo Gable with AVtv News.
Now we have another segment.
March is International Women's Month, a 31-day period where we celebrate and recognize the efforts of women in our history and society today, celebrating women's accomplishments without the barriers of ethnicity, nationality, culture, economic status, political ideologies, or religious ideas. In the early 20th century, women all over the world were protesting against unequal rights for women during the women's suffrage movement. Different forms of National Women's Day or Week were celebrated throughout the early 1900s, but it took until 1975 for the United Nations to recognize and establish the international date of March 8th. In the last century, we in the U.S. have seen big milestones for women, including the right to vote in 1920, the Equal Pay Act in 1963, Sandra Day O'Connor became the first woman to be appointed Supreme Court in 1981, Sally Ride became the first woman in space in 1983, and Kamala Harris became the first woman vice president in 2021.
So it's important because it brings awareness to the gender gap that is still there in numerous fields, including a lot of STEM fields. And if we don't celebrate it, then I guess it would kind of just fade into the background that gender gap exists. And while we have made strides to solve the problem, it's not gone completely yet.
Overall, we should be remembering and lifting women's voices and experiences. This has been Anjali and Max with AVtv News.
Okay, Dons, it's time for our weekly trip around the campus. This week, AVtv reporter Audrey Coombs went out and found more news, announcements, and other information that you need to know.
And she put it all together in this week's Around the Campus in 60 Seconds. Let's check it out.
Hey Dons, I'm Audrey and I'm here to take you around the campus in 60 seconds. The Quizbowl Club is hosting its first in-person tournament on Saturday, March 23rd, and if you would like to be a part of the staff team, you can fill out the form at bit.ly/quizbowl2024 or scan the QR code on the screen. You can also get senior service hours from this opportunity. If you have any questions, you can email amadorquizbowl@gmail.com. Are you looking for any volunteer opportunities? PPIE Pleasanton Run for Education is looking for volunteers to help out at the event on Saturday, April 27th and Sunday, April 28th. You can receive pre-approved service hours, and to sign up, you can go to bit.ly/PPIE volunteer or scan the QR code on the screen. Tri-Valley Writers is hosting its 13th annual high school writing contest, and this year's theme is My Story, My Vision. If you would like to enter for a chance to win a cash prize and membership to Tri-Valley Writers, you can apply at bit.ly/Tri-Valley Writers Contest 2024. Remember that submissions are open until now, and the deadline is March 31st. This has been Audrey Coombs with Around the Campus in 60 Seconds.
Dons, don't forget how important it is to stay connected. You can find out everything going on around campus by going to amadorvalleytoday.org or follow us at AVHS-info on Instagram.
Also remember the leadership Instagram at AVHS Dons, where you can find all of the Spirit Weeks and other ASB activities going around on campus.
Well, that's all we have for today. Make sure you hang around for this week's birthday grams and check back in with us next week for more news, announcements, and profiles. And remember, Dons,
it's always a beautiful day here at Amador.
Yeah, it's a beautiful